I got a which one you want. It's regarding
Uh-huh.
quarterbacks.
Good God. Wow. Gosh, I almost swore. That's how crazy this question is.
Uh,
What is it?
For me,
What
you know
is
what?
it?
You
What
know what?
question
I'm
would
gonna go
you?
first. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna pick Jameis. Even though Jay Cutler went to an NFC Championship game, but one could also argue he had a good defense around him. He had Lovey Smith around him. Jameis Winston, there's something about him, man. I mean, the 30 for 30. I mean, we gonna do it big. Jameis does have a personality. People love playing for Jameis. Obviously, he cares about football. Jay Cutler, to me, the knock on Jay Cutler, and I've said this throughout his career, he don't care. It don't seem like he loves football. It don't seem like he really loves football. He don't mind football because he makes a ton of money, but he don't truly love it. Jameis, on the other hand, he truly loves football. I mean, Florida State. I mean, despite all the on and off the field issues that he had, man, dude had a great collegiate career, ended up becoming the number one overall pick. But the problem with him, dude, he couldn't take care of the football. I mean, you threw 30 touchdowns to 30 interceptions. You were second in touchdown passes behind Lamar Jackson, who won the league MVP unanimously. You led the NFL in passing, but you threw 30 interceptions. And they replaced you with Tom Brady the following year, and they won the Super Bowl. I'm gonna lean towards Jameis because I think Jameis does have talent, but dude just can't take care of the football.
Okay.
But I'll let y'all go. Which one you want?
oh man.
We have to answer this one. Do we have?
Little PSP, you about done yourself with this, my brother.
Can I change this question to who would I rather be? Because I'd rather be Jay Cutler. You know how much money he stole from these franchises, yo. He's one of the richest quarterbacks ever, bro.
oh my God. But I the truth, man, it's true. You
I
won't trash or dumpster juice. I don't know. But
this is
uh you know what? Just because I love his personality and stuff like that, I'm gonna lean towards Jay. I'm gonna lean towards the W. You know, did y'all eat a W today? I'm gonna lean towards the young, unflappable Jameis Winston, man. You know, he's he Jameis Winston. I I wish that he I wish that he did a little bit more in the league because he had potential. I wish that he did more, but a lot of bad breaks. Didn't have a real talented team at the beginning of his career. Close to the end when he was at Tampa Bay, got better but got worse at the same time. If that makes sense. With Jay Cutler, I will say this, man. You came into the league with a Super Bowl winning quarterback. You had one of the best wide receivers in the league.
yep.
You had one of the best offensive minds in the league, yet you couldn't succeed because of your attitude. To me, people can say, well, Jay Cutler was talented. There was a lot of talented guys,
Yep.
and he wasted a lot of his talent. To me, he's the modern day version of Jeff George. That's just me.
Mm.
To me, Jay Cutler is the modern day version of Jeff George. He had a huge arm, but he always had this crybaby type of attitude. And not to mention, yeah, he made it to an NFC championship, but there was great questions about whether that was an injury or did he quit on his team, because there's a lot of guys outside of that Bears organization. Although Brian Urlacher came out and said flat out that he was hurt, there was a lot of questions outside that organization, like, was he really hurt or did he fold? Because they literally lost that NFC championship by 4 points. They
Yeah.
lost 10-6. So, and
I'm sorry, Chev. I'm just laughing about that BJ Raji. Remember that touchdown he had, that pick
Yeah,
six? But when I look at Jake, I agree with you with Jay Cutler. He had tremendous talent. I just didn't think he cared about football. He went to Mike Shanahan. They drafted him with the 11th overall pick, and he was the backup behind Jake Plummer. And he had Brandon Marshall. And then he goes to Chicago and he reunites with Brandon Marshall. He also had Martellus Bennett. He also had Matt Forte. He
Hmm.
also had a young Alshon Jeffrey. The
Hmm.
Bears foolishly they gave him a 7-year deal. I think it was like $129 million contract.
Some crazy like that. Yeah.
And in 2014, he led the NFL in turnovers. And when I look at Jay Cutler, man, Jay Cutler grossly underachieved.
Right.
Because if
Yeah,
he
he did.
actually cared and if he actually took his football career more seriously, I think he could have been a perennial Pro Bowl caliber quarterback. And remember, Luis, he went to your team, the
Yep,
Miami
he did.
Dolphins, in 2017. And he even
Unfortunately.
bragged. Good thing about it is I play quarterback, so I don't need to be in great cardiovascular shape. I
yeah,
mean,
What
Tom
what's
Brady, Aaron
what
Rodgers.
what's crazy is we started off strong that year when the year Cutler, because that was the year we were fluctuating between Cutler and Osweiler, and somehow we started strong that year, and then they both just sucked out of nowhere. Which I don't know how.
Not
I
just
don't
that,
know.
Luis. The year before, you made the playoffs the year
Yeah,
before.
yeah. Listen, that was such a weird time. Like 2017 and 18 are years I just forget. Um, I'd rather have Jameis Winston because at least from a viewer perspective, if I'm not a fan of the team Jameis is on, it's fun football to watch. Like you're good. Like it's gonna get in the air. He's gonna throw it up, but you might have seen something spectacular. You just don't know if it's gonna get caught by by the offense and the defense. And we're bound to see it again this year because Deshaun Watson gonna go to the bench one of these games, and we're gonna see Jameis football again.
You know what? You know what, champ and Luis. You know what I think of Jameis Winston. If he had won more games, I hope I want to see Champ's reaction to this.
Oh boy,
You know what if Champ? You know what if Jameis Winston would have been if he had won more games?
Ryan Fitzpatrick.
The Black Brett Favre.
Oh,
Because if he had won games and if he got his team to the playoffs, multiple and consecutive seasons, we would be talking about Jameis Winston more like Brett Favre, the
yeah,
gunslinger. Because Brett Favre, high risk, high reward.
that's
I mean,
Jameis.
yeah. That's
Jameis
James.
Winston, he would. I mean, Jameis Winston will not hesitate throwing that football because, hey,
Don't
I
care.
mean, he'll throw it into some tight windows. He'll make some mistakes. He'll make some mistakes, but hey, man, he ain't afraid of pulling pulling the trigger.
That's why I'm so excited to see him in this Cleveland offense because I know eventually Deshaun Watson is going to get pulled out eventually. And we see Jameis Winston just lobbing it up to Amari Cooper and Jerry Judy. It's going to be so funny. Or it might get picked off. Who knows? But we bound to see something. we
Mm-hmm.
we bound to see something. Oh,
Hey,
and he's not afraid to run either. He'll try to run you over too.
Yeah.
Jameis football, baby.
hey, Jay Cutler, man, modern day Jeff George, and let's not forget that huge collapse they had in 2000, right before Mike Shanahan was fired, when they went 8-5 and then lost, lost, and went 8-8. Remember that year, the San Diego Chargers was 4-8 in the middle of the season. They was 4-8. They was heading to the top 10 in the draft, and they came all the way back and recaptured and won the division on the very last game.
That's crazy.
That's how and then it got Mike Shanahan fired. They only had to win one game in order to reach the playoffs. One game. Couldn't even win it because of Jay Cutler in the offense. And not only that, the defense collapsed. I mean, and for you to be part of that huge collapse that gets a Hall of Fame caliber coach fired, you definitely, there's some soul searching to be done there. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
to be desired.
Mm-hmm.
Jay
But
Cutler, man. What a time.
Hey, listen, if you watch him in his younger days in Vanderbilt, Jay Cutler could move. He just didn't care. He just didn't care. I just felt like he cared more about it. If you know what, I'm really with the comparisons. Jay Cutler, NFL, he's the NFL Ben Simmons.
Oh man. Oh
I
man.
really can't compare him to Ben Simmons because
No, no. Here's why I say champ, because I think he's talented. He's very talented, but I just don't think he really cared truly that much about football. I think he cared about what more it came along with it, as far as making him a ton of money. So Jay Cutler felt like, if I do well, I'll play a few games here and there. I'll play well enough. I'm still gonna collect my money. Teams are gonna be desperate into having me on my team because what I can do as far as from an arm talent, Jay Cutler at that time he had arguably the strongest arm in the NFL.
That's the crazy part about it, man. You had everything. If you cared about getting paid, you should have won a Super Bowl, my boy. You would have gotten a hell of a lot more money.
and not only that, you had that superstar defense in Chicago. They was
With
just
Lovey Smith as a head coach
with
too.
up. Yes, I agree 100%. And you just go out like a wounded lamb. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, even.
What a
Now,
time to be alive, Jay Cutler.